Okay, how many times have we said it? Youth is wasted on the young. But that doesn't mean that we didn't get away with stuff when we were younger. Come on, you little shits. I want to hear what you got away with when you were a child. How clever were you? Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Video Call-In Show. That show that invites you to be a live video guest on this program to talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. Could be the topic of the day. It could be current events. It could be a personal promotion. It's your choice, although we will hit the topic of the day. Joining is real easy. All you've got to do is point your browser to zoom.us. Click on join a meeting or join if you're joining us via mobile. Enter in that meeting ID right there. You will show up in my green room, and I'll bring you up one at a time, first come, first serve, for about the next hour. My name is Jim, by the way. I am your host of the Video Call-In Show, and I welcome you. If this sounds like a show that is right down your alley, then make sure you follow us. Make sure you hit subscribe, and by all means, make sure you ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. I stream live every Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with virtually the same format. And I welcome all of you from all of the platforms that we happen to be streaming on tonight. Tonight, that would be YouTube, of course, and Facebook, and DLive, and Twitch. I've decided to forego Periscope. It just didn't seem to fit. So when I'm actually addressing the chat, 9 times out of 10, it's from my chat compiler, and it should be from all platforms. And I don't normally specify, but if you're wanting to see the most chats, then head on over to YouTube, search for Video Call-In Show, and you will find us. You will absolutely find me. Anyway, how is everyone this fine evening? Let's see who's joined us thus far. Oh, yeah, well, okay, I'll get to that in a minute. Luke Duke, how you doing? This is I'm going down the chat now. Now, the reason I'm actually explaining this is because I've had some people approach me who are watching me on different platforms, didn't understand all these people I was talking about, and that's not unusual, but they don't know that I'm broadcasting on several different platforms. So, oh, I forgot DLive, did I not? At any rate, I wanted to make sure that was well known so that, you know, it makes it easy for people to understand where I'm referring to in the ether, because as you look at me, you know, Vogue, what you don't see is the chat when you're on another platform. So I'm going to say hello to the folks that are showing up on my chat compiler. Some of these are from YouTube, and hopefully there's going to be more from other platforms. But hey, for now we've got, like I said, Luke Duke, how you doing? Jesse Mendez, good to see you. Eileen Value the Fam, always nice to have you in here. Hello to you. Crap, my dad makes me watch. Adam, thank you so much for joining us. I had some folks were making mention of the music I had going on beforehand, and actually right now as well. It's probably too low to hear. To me, it's far too loud, and we all know what that is. I think I need to be right about there. So you guys let me know whether or not that volume is good or not. I don't want it to be overbearing, but I would like to just barely hear it in the background. We've also got Studio Geek 32. How are you? Jesse Mendez again. Drone Kings Darwin. How you doing, Brad? Good to see you. We've got who else do we have in here? We've got Crazy Ann. How you doing, Crazy Ann? Chris Hope, good to see you. And Patty Broussard, also good to see you as well. Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate it. Hope you're having as good a night as I am. I was in a rush when I got here, and man, I tell you what, that's becoming more and more prevalent, where it seems like I'm so busy before I actually get to sit down and do the show, and and then I'm twiddling my thumbs for like the last 10 minutes because I'm so worried about getting everything in line that I work through really fast, and then I'm like, oh well, shit, I got some time. But it's better to have some spare time than no time at all. So tonight, the subject matter was brought to my attention by Crap My Dad Makes Me Watch. That is Adam. He's in the chat. And that is Crap My Dad Makes Me Watch. Now, his boys are working hard to review those movies, so you don't have to. They do a fantastic job. So I ask you, go check it out and watch some of the videos and make sure that it's content you enjoy, because it's fun. The kids are great. They've had some serious subjects to talk about, you can see, and this is a great example of how YouTube is not showing up what I watched. Can you see the red bars down there? I've watched this entire video here, and it only gives me credit for about a sixth of it, and that's bullshit. I haven't watched this one yet, Adam, but I'm going to, believe me. So yeah, Crap My Dad makes me watch. Thank you so much for suggesting a topic. If you guys would like to suggest a topic, my email address is right there at the bottom of the screen in the gold. And of course, it's also, there's another link in the description box in YouTube for you to use. So feel free to just drop me a line, or you can go to the Discord server, which is Video Call-In Show 6585, I believe. Ghana, if you're in the chat, or one of the other guys who are on the Discord server, make sure that I said that right. I'm pretty sure it's 6585. I don't know why they do that. I guess it gives a, I mean, this is on a an ID that would be completely unique. Doesn't make sense to me. But you know, who am I? I'm not running that platform. But tonight, I thought this was a great subject because, like I said, you know, we all say that youth is wasted on the young, and at the same time, we all know those things that we got away with. We were very clever. The things that we did that even surprised ourselves and our parents. Maybe it's an entrepreneurial venture. Maybe it's it could be anything. But I want to hear those stories from you. I can tell you a few before I get to my first guest. I've got two folks in, so jump up, folks, and we'll make this a full show. I used to. I don't even know if I should tell you. These are all stories that I told my son that I would not tell him until he turned 30. And the reason I did that was because I knew that I was not supposed to be their friend. I was their parent first. And I said, I've got lots of stories to tell you, but you don't get to hear them until you're 30. Now, he's heard a few of them because we've shared beers, and he just now turned 30 this year. So, but we've had a few beers in the last couple of years, and I've spilled some of them. But I did hold out on some of the really, well, let me just say dodgy ones, for lack of a better term. But things I didn't want him to be influenced by, like, oh, well, my dad got by with it. You know, I can do the same thing. Nope, that's not how it works. So I kept those from him. Now that he's old enough, he's got a family, he's mature enough, you know, it's great to sit down and have a beer and laugh at how stupid I was as a child. Speaking of stupid, I always found a way to make money. And of course that at one time there was paper route. There was a lot of grass cutting and leaf raking. It still is, because I can't find any kids to do it now for me. But one of the things, yeah, I can, Brad. Gotta watch some. Oh no, don't worry about that, Brad. Don't. Brad says, can you pause for a minute before your first guest? We all need to go back and watch some ads. No, you don't. Guys, if you want to watch the ads, watch the ads. If you don't, then don't. Again, the only reason I decided to monetize that side is because I think I'm going to need the support. And, you know, given the format of the show, one of these days I will need the support, and I can't let YouTube run off with all the money. So, but here we are. Jacob Billab, over on D Live. Welcome to the show. And of course, Ghana, how you doing, Ghana? Good to see you. So anyway, I'll let you in on one before I bring up my first guest. One of the, I could forge my father's signature to a T. In fact, so well that I venture a guess that he couldn't tell the difference. And I can't tell you how much school that got me out of. Now, kids, those of you 13 and over, do not do that. And in fact, I don't even think you can now. But back then, it was a thing where you could literally write yourself a note and explain your absence from school. And me being well, less than the stellar young man at points, I used that to my advantage, and it served me well. I did get caught once, though. I will say that. So just remember, crime doesn't pay. You will get caught eventually. Okay. enough of me. But I want to hear from you guys. You know, what did you do as a child that you would consider clever or innovative, or even, you know, what did you get out of that you probably shouldn't have? That's being clever. It's when you get caught consistently, you're not very clever. All right, let's bring up our first guest. This young man is probably going to give us real time to what how clever he is. At the same time, he was trying to get on last night and he wasn't able to. I don't know why he jumped off. I'm guessing that he had to rush out very quickly. Sammy, can you hear me? No, not yet. I'll give him just a few more minutes and yammer on. But isn't that amazing that going back to the YouTube thing, how they, you know, they've got that on there as an indicator of what you've watched. It's supposed to work. It doesn't. And how many of us are getting videos that they've already watched regurgitated to us in our recommended feed? How pissed off does that make you? Because it really bugs me. Sammy, you didn't have to jump off there, or your camera. You didn't have to shut your camera off, bud.
I'm not gonna do my camera because I'm sick, kind of.
Oh, okay. No camera for Sammy. That's not a norm for you, Sammy.
Yeah. So, if you can hear, I'm just getting over a sick. I was sick since like I got it on Sunday evening. So since Sunday, I have been sick.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you a good distance from your mic? I'm checking the Zoom audio. Yeah, I'm still up on there. Can you get a little closer to your mic, Sammy? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Is that better?
That is so much better. Thank you, man. Well, I am sorry to hear you're sick. Do you know what it is?
So,
stay on your mic, Sammy. We can't hear you.
Sunday to yesterday, I had a sore throat.
Mm-hmm.
And then today, yesterday I have like coughing, sneezing. You know, the usual sickness.
Yeah. Sounds awful.
You know?
Sounds awful. Well, I feel for you, Sammy. I hope it doesn't stick with you too long. So did you want to?
The good thing is,
what's that?
That I had a snow day on Monday, so I only missed like 2 days.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, you're still a young man, so this is going to kind of be in your wheelhouse, and well, in so much as you're going to remember most of your clever activities, whereas when you get to my age, you forget most of them. So you want to lay some on, Sammy?
Okay. So this never got me in trouble.
Okay.
But I had a clever idea. And it's with my drums.
Oh, okay.
So I a lot, and I used to long time ago, like 7 or 8 years ago, I used to have a kit that I used to bring, but I was gonna play, or I was playing at smaller venues, but on the bongos.
Mm-hmm.
But my parents thought I could get a cajon. So since that day, I use a cajon 95% less than a bass drum. And they had these kick drum, so it's called like a cajon kick drum.
Yeah.
And I have like 7 of them, because 4 of them went out in a single show.
Well, that's odd.
Yeah. And now I'm kicking my foot on the cajon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the bass drum.
Yeah.
So my but is like do 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 do.
Sure.
So,
Well, that's pretty clever. I know it. I know a lot of people use cajones as their kick drum,
yes,
on
and
purpose. Yeah, and
I do that.
oh, do you? That's
Yeah,
cool. That's cool. And of course, you mic it up, right? Because it's not going to have the boom without the mic.
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
I have one of those like black LP. Have you ever seen those?
Oh yeah, yeah. I have. Yep. The LP cajones. Mm-hmm. I sure
Yeah.
have. Well, that's cool. That's cool.
Yes.
I'm a little confused about the 5. Where did the 5 cajones come in?
No, 5 foot pedals.
Oh, I see. So your drum
Because I
kit,
was
you use about
playing
5.
them with passion.
Oh, I see.
And so I was playing a couple of shows in New York. So someone had to run out like 2 or 3 times just to get me a go home pedal.
Ah.
And they are all broken.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Cool.
They had to run to like Sam Ash on like Second Ave or something. You know.
Well, that's a good one. Do you have any other instances where you would consider that was a clever move of yours? That's okay. If you don't, that's fine too. That's fine too. I mean, you've still got a long time to develop those, or at
Yeah.
least create those memories.
Yes.
Just don't do what I said earlier, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I heard.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you used to get a stick pass and say what your symptoms, and you faked it.
Well, yeah. Back in the day, Sammy, and this is going to be, of course, well before your time, and you're not going to be able to relate, but we could literally write a note from our or bring it. I'm sorry. Yes, kill that YouTube if you would, or maybe that was just feedback from the microphone or the speakers. But anyway,
I don't have it open.
Oh, okay. But anyway, we were able to bring in a note from our parents, and that would excuse an absence. That's all that was required. And yeah, I was at times I was not a good boy, and I wrote my own notes, and they worked every time but one. Oh, glorious days. Glorious days of stupidity. Don't do that, Sammy. Okay? Are you still there? Hello, Sammy? Come in, Tokyo. Sammy? I think we lost Sammy. All right, well, like I said, don't do that, Sammy. That's all I got to say. Where did you go, my next guest? Where'd you go? Let's get out of this real fast and talk a little bit more about my youth, shall we? since we're waiting. Oh, you got kicked out of Zoom. That's funny. I wonder why. That didn't happen to Mark, did it? Mark, did you get kicked out just willy-nilly? Hello, Paul Michael DV. How you doing? Paul Michael DV says, what do you say? My nickname as a kid was Brainy, so clearly I was clever. Yes, Paul, I can imagine you were. That is awesome. Hello, Ghana. I hope I don't know if I said hello earlier, but hello. And she says, I get recommended my own videos. You know, I was just ranting about how I can't believe that they serve up. And I kind of get it, too, because they're testing the waters. They want to see how many videos are reviewable. But it gets so annoying because it just never stops. It just never stops. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about in a certain way. And it's not going to be all about that particular. I might as well plug the tomorrow night show. Tomorrow night's weekly spews is going to be about Susan WikiWiki and her interview on 60 Minutes. That is tomorrow at 10 p.m., by the way. And that we're going to talk about the Google originators, the founders of Google, have stepped down from the CEO position, co-CEO position. Interesting stuff. Excuse me. I want to get your input on that. Let's see. Who else jumped into the chat that I have missed? Beer Tech Guy, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. Grumpy Vlogger, Lloyd, good to see you. Oh, awesome, dude. Thank you so much for dropping in, man. Thank you so much for dropping in. Yeah, I don't know why you got kicked out, Sammy. I need somebody to try to call in just to test, if nothing else, because I lost 2 guests almost at the same time, and I don't see Blood X in here anymore. Blood X, how you doing? I saw you mentioned, or you chatted a moment ago. How you doing, Mark? Good to see you. Nugget Brain Peterson, how are you, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, guys. Now, and thanks for dropping the chat, or I'm sorry, the Discord chat server in the chat. Appreciate that. Oh, there we go. Well, it's working, and I know this man has stories. So, hello, View This. How are you, Tony? Good to see you, man. If you typed in earlier, I apologize. Nugget Brain Peterson, good to see you as well. It says, try growing up with a name like Nugget Brain. Was that really a childhood name, Nugget Brain? Because that is brutal. Now, I've already had a show on childhood nicknames. Were you on that show? I don't remember if that was the show you were on or not, but hello, Explosive Phoenix. I don't know what happened to, is Blood X, you still in the chat, man? Because there's an open spot. Jesse, you're going to come on, or you just helping me test, man? Go ahead and chat if you would.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Oh, good.
I was just waiting to be recognized.
Oh, you're waiting for your in, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's cool. That's cool. So, how are you, Jess?
All right, good.
Good, man.
Very good. I'm not on video tonight. I don't want to get the sickness from Sammy. He sounded pretty bad.
Well, it's airborne, but it's not broadcast transmitted.
Hey, how do you know?
Well,
how do you know?
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on the internet.
Okay. All right.
I have all kinds of internet doctor credentials, and I'll just leave it at that.
I want to call in and tell you how clever I thought I was.
Oh, yes, please do.
Well, throughout my whole life, as a little kid anyways, I used to think that I was always getting away with stuff, because I would, I'd sneak, like late at night after we're supposed to be in bed, I'd sneak around and I'd watch like the Red Skeleton show, or I'd watch whatever show was on late at night while my parents were watching, because I could see it down the hallway where the TV was set. Now it's just, I thought I got away with it, right? That and a whole myriad of things that I thought I was getting away with, even up and through teenage years.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So at one point, I'm sitting there talking to my mom, and we kind of got on the subject of, how clever I thought I was, just talking to Mom. She says, oh, yeah, you were not that clever. I said, what do you mean? Well, I knew when you did this, I knew when you did that. And she just started rattling off all these little, nothing big, nothing major, but just stuff that I thought I was, I got away with. I didn't get away with nothing.
Yeah.
Even with my dad, he knew I didn't get home until just before he got off work.
That's a real good one there, because people think they get by with that, or kids do think they get by with that all the time.
Right. Oh yeah. Did my chores, real quick, go do your quick chores, which went out all day after school while playing, late at night, because I would, I'm supposed to be in by street light time, right? But
yeah.
I wasn't the most obedient son. So I would, and my dad worked second shift, and what was my mom going to do? Throw shoes at me?
Right.
So yeah, I would stay out late. Just before you get home from work, I'd be in the house.
Oh man. Yeah, and pro tip to all you people out there who might be, I don't know, I'll say in your 20s and 30s. That's not a good question to ask your parents. How clever was I? Because you're going to find out how clever you weren't.
Yeah, you're going to find out you weren't. I'm sure your parents probably told you a lot of things you thought you were getting away with. But
all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're not as clever as we think we are, or we thought we were.
No. I can say that my father was totally unaware of all the other times that I got by with that. So I was clever for a while on that one.
You're right, though. You always get caught at some point.
Yeah. At
some point.
So kids, it's not even worth trying.
It's fun, but it's pointless.
It is. Yeah. Be clever for good, not for bad. That's the advice I'm going to give out now for those 13 and over, because I don't have anybody under 13 watch my show, Jesse. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that. I thought we were all kids here.
Oh, at heart, man, at heart, and I don't think COPPA covers that, so we're good to go, man.
Okay, cool. That would suck, wouldn't it?
Oh, God, would it ever? Oh, well, anything else that you think you were clever? And this could be not even, things that you got away with. This could be things that you did that, like I said, surprise your parents and even yourself.
No, that was hobbies. They knew. I don't want to talk about everything I did. I mean, I did get a, well, no, I don't want to talk about that either. No, I don't want to talk about that one either. I did get away with some stuff that was really good, but I don't want to talk about it.
Before
the statute of limitations hasn't gone by yet.
I hear you, man.
Maybe it has.
I think it has, Jesse. I really think it has. Publicly, maybe not, but that's why.
Let's just say, like I said earlier, I wasn't the most obedient son.
I hear you, and and I feel you, man, because I was the same way. And some of those things, I'm like I said, I'm going to tell my boy. My wife already knows, and but publicly, some of these stories you guys aren't going to hear.
Right. Not that I was a criminal or anything like that. It's just well, you're only a criminal if you're caught, right?
Yes. and only. After you're 18. I don't know.
Like I said, my youth lasted a long time.
Yes.
Well into my late 20s, maybe early 30s.
Oh man, yeah. I didn't even realize how touchy a subject this was until I started thinking about my own stories to tell. I'm like, man, are people really going to want to talk about this? And that's why I keep.
Not a whole lot.
Well, I keep trying
Got anybody waiting?
No, we can sit and chat for a while. I had somebody up, but they dropped off, and I can't figure out why they did.
I bet Tony's got some good ones.
Oh, I bet he does.
Yeah, I bet he does.
But he's got young kids too, so he may want to hold those close until they're 30. Really, I think that's the only way to do it too, man. It's like don't give your kids reasons or license to get stupid just because you were. Save those stories until they're old enough to hear them.
or the situation pops up where they're in that situation too.
Yeah, if they find themselves in the situation, it's great to be able to use experience. Though we all know that they usually don't take that advice.
No, right.
And we were the same way, right?
We are?
Well, we were.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, some of us are right now, but most of us, when we were young, we didn't take advice too well. It was great to hear, but
that's part of growing up.
Mm-hmm. It is.
You're learning, and you think you know it all.
Yeah.
Because you've got this long vision ahead of you of your life in front of you, where we realize, where did it go?
Where did it go, and how much is left?
Right.
Yeah, when you're that young, you're invincible, and and I've said it before, Jesse, and I think you agreed with me last time I did. I said sometimes you got to let your kids fall so that they know how to pick themselves back up.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you must allow them to pick themselves up.
Yep. Because because it helps them next time, not to fall.
Well, at least they know that if they fall again, they can get themselves back up.
Right. Experience being the best teacher. Absolutely
Right.
correct.
Yep.
Absolutely correct.
I agree.
Well, we agree on everything, Jesse. It seems like.
But see, that's weird because you're not really my generation.
No, but
You're close. You're like right behind me.
Yeah, we're only like 10 years apart, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I'm I don't even know how to
We're from the
classify
same
this.
era.
We are from the same era, but I was brought up like the older generation. I guess that's the best way I can say. You know,
Right.
my father was very stern. So was my mother, and I didn't get away with as much as I thought I did. But
Right. Now that you think about it.
right. But at the same time, you know, they allowed me to fail. They let me fall and pick myself back up. And I don't know, something about the times were a little bit different. It seemed like we were doing so much more so early, like you were saying. We didn't have to come in until the streetlights came on. And what that really meant was we were completely unsupervised.
We were they're called free range now.
Yeah. Well,
imagine that.
oh, I know.
There's actually a term for kids like the way everybody used to be.
That blows me away. Absolutely
You know?
blows me away.
There's a term for it now. They're called free range. Well, you know what are we raising chickens?
Are they kosher too?
Well,
yeah, I know.
With me, I was encouraged.
Encouraged.
Go outside and play.
Oh
Go
yeah.
outside and play. Not
Yeah.
where are you going? What are you doing? You know,
Well-
call in every 5 minutes. Go outside and play. I don't want to see you until dinner time.
Yeah, encouraged
You know?
encouraged is putting it nicely.
Yeah.
we
Well,
were-
the door's locked. What happened?
yeah, exactly. And man, I can't tell you how many times that happened, and I can't tell you how often we just went off on our and did our own thing at such a young age and lived to tell the story.
Right. Well, at 6 years old, I was crossing a 4-lane highway on my own.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I had done that as well. It wasn't a highway more so much as it was a state road, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to get over to Dairy Queen and White
Right.
Castle.
Wherever.
Yeah.
It's funny you were talking about you would write you were able to copy your mom or your dad's signature. I wrote my mom's notes for her. And signed them.
Did she know that?
Yeah, she told me
okay.
she knew it.
Oh, okay. When you said I wrote my mom's notes for me, I was thinking she was like, you go ahead and write your own note, and then thinking, well, she didn't think that through.
No. She would know because there was days that why were you absent? You know?
Yeah.
You didn't have any days off. You know? Yeah.
You know, it's
like
funny.
that, you know?
I don't remember getting questioned about that, honestly. You know, the days you were absent. As long as my grades were all right, he really didn't ask about
It's
them.
either look at my grades or look at my absenteeism, you know?
Yeah. It's like, oh, bad grades. Oh, look at all these days you missed.
Not bad grades, just not excellent grades.
Right.
You know?
Oh yeah. I was only slightly above a C student, but that for me that was good.
Yeah. and the other thing too is writing notes. My mom would write a note to the Sterling Milk Store for me to get cigarettes for her.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I actually had purchased cigarettes for my father as well on one or two occasions. Absolutely. Yeah. This is well before I smoked. So.
Yeah, we're talking, I'm 6, 7, 8 years old. Run this to the store. Here's some money. Here's a quarter, as a matter of fact. Come give this to the lady there. She'd read the note, grab you a pack of cigarettes, take the quarter. run home.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And that was back when you could take your kids into the bar. I can remember spending many a night with my father in a bar, just hanging out, playing video games and whatnot at single digit age. Yeah.
Right. Yep. Playing shuffleboard.
Well, we didn't have shuffleboard.
You mean the bowling one?
Oh, like duck pin bowling? Or no, not duck pin. No, you're talking about the long table.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we didn't have one of those in the bars that he went into. No, not even. What's that damn thing that everybody loves? Throw the ball up into the holes. Ski ball. Thank you.
Ski ball.
Yeah, I couldn't think of it. Could not think of it. But he was. They didn't even have one of those in there. It was the old pinball, right? The standard pinball. I used to love that. I miss pinball. I don't know about you.
We would do. I see Patty was talking about letting her grandson go out and play outside making mud pies.
Oh, I do.
We'd have football games in the mud.
Oh man, I used to love those.
Oh yeah.
Those were the best, especially if it was raining.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was fun.
Just made you feel alive.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for these kids who are, locked into screens. Says the man is staring at 5 screens right now. But
yeah, I'm looking at my laptop, my phone.
Well, I wouldn't call us hypocrites though, because we're not kids anymore.
No, and I'm not telling kids not to do that. No. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, although I don't know how good it is, but it's it's what it is, as they say.
Yeah, I think you've got to measure it. You've got to. It's kind of like in our day, it was television, right? It's like, what are you watching television for? Like you were saying earlier, get outside and play.
Right. Well, Saturday morning was my television day.
Oh, mine too. Yeah.
That was my television day. I'd get up in the morning. Watch cartoons and Lone Ranger and all these other shows until around noon. Then get up and go over to my friend's house, call him out, and then we go out and go play out in the cornfield or the woods or the creek or, go do this or that. Get on our bikes and ride from Toledo to Bowling Green, at 12 years old.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. All of the above, man. All of the above. And the woods was my favorite. Because we always had woods right next to us, and all the forts we built, the tracks we built. There was an old, really old service station building that was being taken over by the woods that we commanded as our own. Man, it was fantastic. It kind of got ugly when we got to be teenagers because it also had an attic, and we had carpeted it and made it just really nice. And I can't even go any further than that.
Let's just say things happened.
Things happened that probably shouldn't have happened, and that's actually going to be part of the subject for Sunday night show. We're actually going to talk about marijuana.
Oh my goodness,
that'll be interesting, won't it?
The evil weed.
Yes, let me throw that up real fast. There we go. That's going to be Sunday. We're gonna talk about cannabis, about Mary Jane, marijuana. Absolutely.
What do you want to know?
Jesse, I'm sure there's something we could both teach each other, man. Actually, what I'm going to do is, because I like to have a subject matter for my panels now, and the idea here is we're going to talk about, are we heading in the right direction with legalizing marijuana? And you don't have to answer now. It's just maybe you want to be on the panel. Because
definitely want to be on this panel.
Yeah, some of us with ages of experience in that arena really need to chime in at this point, I think.
I think so too. When is this? Sunday show, right?
Yeah, Sunday's panel show. Yeah, not to be confused with tomorrow night when we're going to talk about the CEO of YouTube and the CEOs of Google.
No, that's tomorrow night.
That's tomorrow night. Yeah. Yeah, don't confuse those. Left-handed cigarettes, says Grumpy Blogger.
Yes, left-handed cigarettes.
Oh, Reefer Madness. American Gold Prospectors. How you doing?
I love it. I still watch that movie.
Oh, that just cracks me up.
It is hilarious.
It is.
It's just hilarious. But I've got a lot of information, informative information.
Oh yeah, well for sure. I mean, how could you not take something away from that movie?
Right. Kids don't watch this movie. It's not.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not good. It's not even accurate.
No, not even close. And the thing that we're being serious, that's the scary part.
Oh, I know. And
it was a serious movie when it was produced.
Absolutely. The producers, I'm sure, bought into every bit of that lore.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, Tony, someone did say pot, and I know you'll probably want to be on that panel as well.
No, nobody said pot. We said marijuana.
Oh, I said pot. I said marijuana. I said cannabis. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm using all the bad buzzwords. Which
okay. Should get you demonetized by the time Sunday show comes around.
Well, it's funny. While we're just shooting the shit here, I turned on monetization, so YouTube wasn't raking in all the dough, and right. And it's funny because I could see some of my shows that were limited monetization. None of them have been demonetized, but they go through and they've already done their calculations. In fact, yours was one of them. You know why? You remember the Veterans Day guest cut you came on? Is because I had war in the title. Can you fucking believe that? I had war in the title, the Vietnam War, because that's what you were talking about, right?
Right.
And it was limited, not suitable for some advertisers. So I literally took out war to see if that was the thing, and I didn't even have to submit it for review. 15 minutes later, fully monetized. Can you believe that? Just for the word war. We can't even express ourselves anymore.
Call it a conflict.
what do I do when I'm talking about a real war? It's like we can't even communicate or express ourselves the way.
That's something that kind of piqued my curiosity one day when you had one of your, I don't remember if it was
you remember what guest or show?
Bean, one of the younger guys that were on talking about that they're not allowed to see some of the stuff from history, like talk about concentration camps and the Holocaust and that stuff. They're not allowed to see that because it's too violent. Now, that kind of just blew me away when I heard him say that, because I'm going, wait a minute. That means he doesn't get to learn about it.
I know.
He doesn't get to learn about that mistake.
Exactly.
He gets to hear, he doesn't. So are they doing that with a lot of things? Is that how they're getting rid of history? They're just not talking about it anymore? Because that's a question I ask kids. When I say kids, because you're all kids to me. I asked them, well, what do they teach you about Vietnam? Anything? Well, they just, they kind of gloss over it, same with World War II, they just kind of gloss over it. And those things are important. They're important things to remember.
They absolutely are. Absolutely are. And I'm saddened by that. We're actually going to talk about that tomorrow night. If you guys, if you haven't already, go out and watch that interview that Susan Wojcicki, something like that, the CEO of YouTube, had on 60 Minutes with that old wench Leslie Dahl, and listen closely to that interview, because I think it's going to it'll send chills down your spine. And she talks about a lot of that as what they're doing on YouTube, and like I said, we're going to go into that tomorrow night. So
I'm touching on the subject and didn't even know it.
That's okay. You're absolutely right, and that's why I brought up some of the odd things that I found on the monetization side, because that's all part of it. I mean, it's literally it's stifling conversation or communication or expression of ideas. And like you were saying, those are teaching moments, man. The kids got to know about this stuff. And if they,
it's those things were scary. They were scary to the adults when it was happening to them. But if the kids don't learn the reality of what that was all about, then it's going to repeat itself.
Exactly.
You know, it's just going to happen again.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and that's chilling. That is absolutely chilling for us as much as them.
Which is part of my conspiracy theory as to my theory as to how many times we've occupied this planet as human beings because we keep screwing up and got to start over again.
Oh man, that's Matrix type shit there. Oh man.
You know,
well, listen.
I have a lot of strange theories like that, you know.
well, you're gonna have to send me a note, man, and just list them all. If there's some I want to cover, I'll cover them.
No, I'm gonna do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Jesse, I won't keep it too much longer, man. I appreciate you dialing in and testing that, and then of course, tell us a bit about how clever you were as a child, man. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I know I didn't impress anybody.
Oh, you'd probably be surprised, man. You would probably be surprised. There's a lot of people out there that didn't try and get away with anything, and they look at those people who have hung themselves out to dry, for lack of a better term. With awe in some cases, and others with disdain, right? It's like, oh, I can't believe you did that, you idiot.
Yeah. But I have to say, through all I used to climb trees to the very top and just sit up there. 50-foot, 60-foot trees. Just sit up there on top and just swing back and forth because it was just a cool-ass feeling.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And at the same time, scary because, that top of that tree could break.
Yes, it could. Yes, it could.
but hey, I made it up here. I might as well enjoy it, right?
Exactly. I know all too well what you're talking about, man. And we're missing a lot of that in today's world.
Oh yeah.
I guess the free range kids will have to pick it up for us.
Yeah, I guess we should get more free. We should boycott. Bubble wrap kids. And push out the free range. Make everybody have free range. At least one free range kid in every family.
Or every neighborhood.
Every neighborhood. Our whole neighborhood was free range. Every kid on our block was either at my house playing football, down the street at Mark's house playing football, or we were all out in the woods. I'm talking about 6, 7 boys about the same age, a few years apart, but running around in the group.
Yep.
Causing trouble.
Well, and in all honesty, there's always that one kid who wasn't allowed to do stuff, right? There was always one.
Allowed, but that didn't hold them back.
Yeah, some did.
Well, we didn't hang out with them.
Exactly.
Those guys went to dance practice, I guess. I don't know what they did.
Who knows?
But they were not playing with us,
No. They'd come out and they'd act like they were going to go, and it's like, no, I got to be somewhere else. And usually
right. The one that was always wanting to be there, yes.
Exactly.
The one that wanted to hang out with you, but I can't. I have to go here. I have to do. Yes, you're right. There is that one.
That's what made life so much fun, man. So much fun. I miss that.
I imagine. Well, you know what? It's nice and nostalgic for us to think about that, but I'm sure kids nowadays have their ways of having fun. And as I said before, we're only talking about that small minority of kids that are sheltered that really bad. We still have a whole lot more out there that aren't, and I'm sure are doing the same kind of stuff we are.
Oh yeah.
I know I raised one. So
yeah, same here.
So I'm not too worried about that as much as some of the other things that I worry about.
Yeah, yeah. We still got to keep. We still got to keep our eyes open. Man. With what?
Yeah, oh yeah, which are all strange things that I worry about.
Well, put them down in a note, man, and send them to me.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Jesse. Well, I'm glad you made it out alive, man, and of course I'm glad you came up.
Nobody makes it out alive, dude.
Well, so far.
No, nobody makes it out alive.
That is so true.
At some point, we got to give up the ghost, and that's okay as long as as long as you go head first.
As long as you go head first, yeah. And as long as you leave the place better than you found it.
Yeah.
All right, take care, my friend. We'll talk. We'll talk to you next time.
Yes, sir. Oh, wait a minute.
What?
I forgot to tell.
Oh, great. Is that going to become a standard? Oh, that's hilarious. What have I missed in the chat? JD Tremaine, how you doing? Good to see you. Stacy Morgan, welcome to the show. Or back to the show, I should say. Hope you guys haven't... Green Bay Wacky, how you doing? Dave, good to see you, my friend. Who else did I see pop in here not so long ago? American Gold Prospectors. How you doing? Have I missed any questions? I want to make sure that I haven't. Raven the Commentator, how you doing, Raven? Good to see you. Oh, wow, you had a lot to say, didn't you? I remember making stuff fall from my hands a lot when I was a child. Oh, that's cool. I scooped dirt from my hand and watched it fall one time. I messed with the Parmesan cheese. Kitchen was a mess to the point where my mom called grandmother. And Patty, that's exactly what you did with your grandson today. That's great. If you guys with kids and grandchildren, because I plan on doing this with my grandchildren, get them outside. I mean, if you want to supervise them, but get them outside, have them experience life. The screen should be measured. Their screen time should absolutely be measured. And it's funny to watch my kids, when my son and daughter-in-law, they're already limiting my granddaughter's screen use because they're self-aware enough to know that that's a dangerous thing to just let them go willy-nilly with that and get so immersed in it. She's 2 years old and she works a phone better than I do. It's astounding how quickly they pick that up. Have I missed anybody else? I hope not. Well, since this did turn out to be a very touchy subject, I don't expect anyone else to come up. How you doing, Jelly Doug? Good to see you, man. Magic Jones, how you doing, man? Always good to see all you guys. But since it was a touchy subject and I don't see anybody else coming up, I think I'm going to call it a night, guys. Remember, though, that tomorrow night we're going to talk about the exodus of the Google founders from the CEO position. And we're also going to talk about Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, and her interview on 60 Minutes. I do want you guys to go out and watch that because it's very important to analyze how or what she said and how it will impact all of us moving forward. So, what does he say? You need to have a show one night about geocaching. Oh, well, make sure, Nugget Brain, that you drop me an email. Again, guys, my email address is right there. If you've got show ideas, because I'll probably forget that, please send me an email, and I will not. Green Bay Wacky says, the new Breakfast Club movie, 6 students texting in detention, no words. Yes, absolutely, Dave. I can absolutely see that happening. My question would be, how would they end up in detention in the first place, unless it was because of electronic devices? Who knows? Well, don't feel bad, Dave. Late is better than never. I'm glad you're here. One of these days, we're going to have to get you up on the show on one of these subjects. You're always welcome, man. Guys, but that's going to do it for me tonight, I think. Again, don't forget tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, we're going to talk about the subjects that I just mentioned. I want to thank my guest tonight, Blood X. I'm sorry I missed you, man. I don't know why you jumped off. You must have had something going on because I don't think I pissed him off. But for now, I'm going to call this one a night. Again, thanks to everybody. Thanks to all you guys in the chat. You guys are fantastic. I'm going to have to go back and watch some of this conversation because it looked pretty in depth. But I have to leave you with this. Make sure that you treat others the way you would want to be treated. If we all did that, this world would be a better place. Thank you very much. We'll see you live.